Good morning. Today we're going to install a JK 4-door squareback, the myTop electrically powered top. And we want to show you the steps that we're going through in the installation. And those steps are, first of all, the boxes that you receive. Secondly, how to prep the vehicle. Thirdly, how to put the left side linkage and the right side linkage on top of the vehicle, and then put the canvas on. And last but not least, to finally set it and make it the great product it is. So in the first step, we look at the boxes that you received. You received two of these size boxes. They contain the left side and the right side. In here, open it up, and it contains a quality control card. And this is the linkage itself. The motor is mounted on it. This is the crossbar. This is the passenger side, and the driver side also contains limit switches that we'll see later on. Those are the first two boxes, and then the big box that you received is the actual canvas box. It contains the wiring harness and other parts that we'll come to later on, and it contains the window and the actual canvas in it that we come to also in the later part. Okay, this next step is we're actually getting to the vehicle and get into the action. The overall install should take you maybe somewhere, when the car is prepared well, it's probably about 4 hours of total work, and it goes through the initial steps. So in preparing the vehicle, of course, you want to have the old top off. It may be a hard top, maybe a soft top. It needs to be completely removed. Then you need to clean the vehicle. We're going to put Velcro later on here. This is where the underbody bar goes. We need to be able to put the wiring harness from the fuse box in the very front and the battery through the vehicle, and take the rocker panels out, put the buttons in here. That's the first thing that we do in preparing the vehicle. We want to prepare that the crossbar can go in, and we want to take the latches and the hooks that we need in order to attach the top to the front windshield frame. Those need to be exchanged as well. Once you've done that, then we can start putting on the wiring harness, which is the next step. Okay, this next part, we're going to install the wiring harness into the vehicle. The harness itself consists of 3 parts. The first part is this one right here. It has a waterproof relay, goes by the battery, plus, minus, and the fuse connector into the fuse box, where you need to identify a position which is driven by ignition. Then we have the actual buttons, which is inside in the up and down button, and they get connected to the panel that is underneath the steering wheel. Then the main harness that is also inside the vehicle goes under the rocker panel, from the very front to the very back to the motors. This whole step should take you about 20 minutes, and that's the installation of the wiring harness. Good. Now in the next step, we are going to put the linkages on, the main assembly on the left side and the right side. They're held by this underbody bar, which, just like the name says, will come here under the body like this, held by a bolt. Then the main assembly will be put on. You can simply lift it up, put it on there, put it in place, then bolt it down. In this part, we will also attach this segment right here, which is for holding the bow pad down. We'll explain that later on. And this is for the rear bow bracket in the back, the RE part that we were talking about earlier. This is what we do in this segment on the left side and the right side, just alike. This part will take you about 15 minutes all in all, and then we are ready to put the canvas on. All right, we're going to put the canvas on now that we've attached the wiring harness to the motors on the left side and the right hand side. Every bolt, check that every bolt here is now tight and nice and firm. We have already gotten the rear bar brackets on, and we're now turning our attention to the canvas to finally turn it into a convertible. The canvas is all in one box. The crossbars are already installed and on it, and also the L-arm is installed and on it. So when you put this on the vehicle, be a little bit careful. I think this step is going to take 2 people rather than 1. It does work with 1, but it's a little bit more difficult. So take a second person as your assistant to help you in this step. And when you put the top up the first time, as the L-arm won't be installed, be very careful that you don't bang against the vehicle and damage the vehicle. This is going to take us now about 30 minutes to put on, and then we go into fine-tuning. Okay, we've pretty much finished the install on our 4-door JK here. And we're coming to our final stage of the fine-tuning. Fine-tuning really shouldn't take you longer than 10 to 20 minutes approximately. And here I'm standing by the C-pillar cover. C-pillar cover needs to be put on. That's what the door seals do. So you want to make sure that the door seals fine on this side. You want to make sure that the L-arm, the top, fits fine on this side. We'll get down to that second how to adjust that when we need to. Okay, so we're all finished with this install here on the 4-door JK, and as you can see here, it's nice and tight, and you want it to be nice and tight. There's just a little bit of springiness in here that's from the bow pad that is underneath. This top is brand new, so it's going to be stretching out over the next few days when it's released a little bit more. And I'm going to show you a little bit how to fine-tune it, because every body of the vehicle in the Jeep is different. There's a ±5-degree angle difference, for example, on the windshield frame, and we need to be able to adjust to each and every single vehicle. So for example, what you want to look at is you want to look at the gaps between the L-arm, which is underneath here, and the C-pillar. You want that to be nice and tight to the door, that you have no gaps here, no visible gaps here on both sides. You want to see that there are no gaps here, otherwise you can work with those. Same thing on the rear window. You want that to be as plain as possible. It'll change in temperature. The PVC changes in its behavior, whether it's really warm or really cold. It just changes a bit. So just watch out for that. And evidently on the inside, you have the latches. Maybe you can follow me here. Inside here, you have the latches, and there are 2 bolts that you can adjust the latches up and down, which make them shorter or longer, depending on how difficult it is to latch. So when you unlatch it, you want to grab the middle handle, pull it down a bit because it's under tension, and then you can latch it. And as long as you can latch it with a little bit of force with one hand, you're fine. If it gets too loose, and you can just click it down with a finger. See, I can't do that. If you can't do that, then it's too loose, then you need to adjust those bolts. And those adjustments are made to make sure that the car remains watertight. If those adjustments are right, this car will be bone dry. And well, that's it, I think. If you have any questions, give us a call, and have fun, and good luck.